Bet you guys didn't expect that, did you? I would say that the hardest thing about having a YouTube channel is having to make your bed before you make videos. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure you guys don't think I'm an absolute slob or anything. Oh, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Alright, got the bed cleaned up and definitely just didn't throw my blankets on the ground or anything. But here we go. As you guys probably know, a while ago we hit 300 subscribers and I had a bunch of videos that I was planning on doing. So I'm getting to this one a little bit late. But today is going to be a 300 subscriber Q&A. Today is going to be a 300 subscriber Q&A. Thank you guys so much for your support. And yeah, let's just get straight into the questions. Alright, so the first question of the day. Is Anakin secretly your daddy since you have Death Star nipples? Oh my gosh, I was about to film a video in this shirt. This is ridiculous. Alright, let's get into the questions. This is going to be the second question apparently because I don't even know how to answer that first one. Alright, but this question is tips for bulking. Now I currently am in a bulk as... I don't really like to call it that because I'm not dirty bulking, and that's what the word bulking usually entails. But I'm trying to stay really lean and trying to put on muscle with as little amount of fat as possible. And so my main tips for it would be to continue to stay away from processed foods, even in your bulk, and really just go a little bit above your caloric maintenance. So then you're maximizing muscle gain while mitigating fat gain. Yeah, so then you can avoid looking like Big Chungus in the off season. For the next one, is Lex Little natural or not? Now, this one's really interesting and I didn't really want to spend a whole video to go into it. If you guys don't know Lex Little, he is a Gymshark athlete. I follow him pretty closely. I think he's 18 years old right now. Kid hits like ridiculous deadlift PRs, squat PRs. His legs are probably the biggest legs of any teenager I've ever seen. It's like bigger than 99% of adults. And that's honestly a good question. I didn't want to devote a full video to this topic just because I honestly don't know whether or not he's natural. I tend to think that he is natural, but that's just my optimistic thinking. He does claim natural, and he's stated the reasons why he is. I definitely think that his physique is attainable naturally with really good genetics. His leg genetics are obviously just out of this planet. But he does have a fairly small upper body. He just has a really small waist, and so it makes him look a lot bigger than he actually is. But I'm not insulting him at all because he is definitely massive and I look up to him a lot. So I do err on the side of Lex Little being natural just because he claims it so sternly. And what people fail to realize is we are in a day and age where saying that you are on steroids is going to get you a lot more PR than saying that you're natural. So, I don't know. What are your macros while cutting? I actually just made a video about this. It was the full day of eating to get shredded. Go check that out if you have not. I tend to stay around 2,500 calories and about 200 grams of protein per day. And those are the two things that I sort of stick to. The secret to arms. Now, I get this question quite a bit because as people have kind of noticed, I have strange arm genetics. I'm not really sure if they're actually like super good or not, but they definitely look good. Like from like a front double bicep pose, like I have really peaked biceps, and so people are always asking me how to get good arms. I have a separate day for arms, so I train biceps all the time. I really like to train biceps and triceps. But the secret, if you like heavy pull-ups, yeah, that's probably my go-to for bicep builders, is probably weighted pull-ups. Where do you plan to be in 5 years? In 5 years, I would like to have my own personal training company. Whether or not I have employees or not, I don't really know. But I'd like to start training people online as well as sort of a mixture in person. So yeah, I've been trying to get a lot of stuff in order for that to happen in the future. Hobbies outside of lifting, nutrition, and school. That's a good question. And I don't think watching YouTube counts. Oh, swimming. Yeah, I go to the hot springs like all the time. Relaxing and chilling. That would definitely be it. Do you take tren? Yes. How many eggs can you suck down in one sitting? Now suck down? Who sucks down eggs? What in the world? That's a weird question. Come on, you guys. Tips for reaching a plateau when cutting. Now, I'm not sure whether they're referring to a plateau in their weight or a plateau in their strength. I would assume it's their weight. If you reach a plateau when you're cutting, that means that your body needs a new stimulus, and when you're cutting, the only pretty much new stimulus you can give it is either exercise more or eat less. So you're gonna have to cut a little bit more calories, or you're going to have to exercise more. But keep this in mind also, that if you are cutting, sometimes your calories are so low that what you're gonna wanna do is actually bump up your calories for a small span of time and get your body used to that new stimulus, and then cut your calories back to what they were before, and then you'll drop below your plateau. Tips for increasing your bench. Now that's a good question. I don't have the strongest bench in the world. It's definitely my strongest lift that I have, but I'm not a power lifter or anything like that. What I do when I sort of seem to hit a plateau on my bench, what I'll do is it's the same thing with the diet. You always want to introduce the body to a new stimulus whenever you hit a plateau. And so with benching, what this would look like is maybe dropping the weight and upping the reps. So for example, if you were training in like the 6 to 8 rep range, up the reps, drop the weight, and hit more around the 12 to 15 rep range for a little while, and then drop down to like the 3 to 4 rep range, and then go back to your original range and see if it affected anything. Usually that can get me out of a plateau, just playing with the weights and reps and stuff like that. So the next question is, are you single? And if you remember correctly, I actually answered this in my last video, but some things have changed, and I have had some strokes of good luck lately, and well, needless to say, I have started dating someone. And yeah, I really like her. She's pretty cool. You probably know who she is. She acted in Game of Thrones, actually. It's Natalie Dormer. So Natalie Dormer and I have been in a relationship for about a month now, and we're really enjoying it. It's kind of long distance, and she doesn't really know about it, but that's okay. You know, like, relationships take time. It's baby steps. Is Oliver Forslin natty? Now this one's kind of similar to the Lex Little one. Once again, I am not sure. I'm not 100% sure. These guys are really strong, and it'd be super easy to just say like, yeah, they're on steroids or something like that, but I really like giving people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to situations like these. And I know people who have really good genetics that look really similar to them, so I'm gonna say he's natural. Like, and everybody always makes like comments and stuff like that. I see it on Oliver Forslin's videos, like he has acne and that somehow proves that he has steroids and stuff like that. Dude, that's so stupid. I have acne. Everybody has acne nowadays. It's ridiculous to assume that that is like one of the main things you can point to prove that he's on steroids. Like, come on guys, everybody has acne. What the hell? Once again, I do not know for sure if they are on steroids or not, but one thing that I do know is it's super unhealthy to take steroids when you're really young, and so you definitely should not do it, even if they're doing it. And also, just, like, don't act like you know whether or not they're on steroids. Like, nobody knows. Nobody knows, okay? Like, you can make assumptions and stuff like that, but I don't think they are. I don't think they are. It's nothing crazy. I know people who are on steroids, and there's just like, there's a different vibe that you get with them.
Nice.
The thing is, his physique can definitely be attained naturally, but that's not really a question. And that's what's so weird that I find, is that people are constantly trying to figure out, like, is he on steroids? Is he not on steroids? Versus trying to figure out, could an 18-year-old look like this? Yes, an 18-year-old could definitely look like that. Like, genetic freaks exist, and a lot of genetic freaks are sponsored by Gymshark, because Gymshark is like one of the biggest clothing brands in the industry. So it makes sense that they would pick up the people who look the best and have the best genetics. So that makes sense to me. They're like worldwide now. Alright, you guys, so that is all the questions that I have for today, and now I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys over in the future to a chest workout. Alright, so I just wanted to do a little voiceover with this chest workout that I just filmed. And just talk a little bit about just some crappy stuff that's been going on lately. So as you guys are gonna see in this video, my bench press has significantly decreased. And I think there's a couple of different contributing factors that are what's causing this to happen. The first one is obviously I've been on a cut, and so I've lost about 10 pounds, and that'll definitely decrease your strength over a while. As I mentioned in my last video, I did drop the weight a little bit faster than I should have, but that's okay. I mean, we're here now, might as well try to get my strength back up. But I switched to dumbbells for about a month, and that was while I was cutting. And that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made, just because if you guys look at my bench press now, it's just like back when I was bench pressing around 1 month to 2 months ago, I could have easily pressed 225 pounds for 4 sets of 10. Like I could have easily done that. I think my max, the heaviest that I went was about 255, and I ended up putting that, I could get that up for about 8 reps. And so now you're just seeing me grind out. This is at the very beginning of the workout, so I'm not fatigued or anything like that, but I am just barely getting along with 225 pounds. I think I got my first set for 9, and I think I get my second set for about 8. It's just, but you can tell, like, I am working a lot harder than I used to. Just on trying to get that weight up. I also mentioned in my last video that because of my cut, I did lose some strength in my my dumbbell bench press as well. But that didn't seem to be as significant. Just because I went from pressing the hundreds for about 15 reps to pressing the hundreds for about 12 reps, which isn't that big of a change. But the biggest thing that I think is causing this is simply because with dumbbells, there's so much more of a focus on stability, and you're trying to make the movement very slow and controlled, because if you just throw the weight up as fast as you possibly can, you're not going to get you have a greater risk of injuring yourself, honestly, simply because the motion is just not as stable as the barbell. And so with barbell bench, there's a lot of power involved. And so basically power is when you're trying to get the bar up as fast as possible, because the stabilization aspect doesn't play as big of a role. And so focusing on my dumbbell bench for the month that I was cutting was probably my biggest mistake, just because I lost a lot of power. Like that sort of explosion that you get when you're at the bottom of your bench press rep. Like I've almost completely lost that. Like it's kind of sad, actually. I'm definitely more stable, and one thing that I did notice is that my bench press, if you go back and watch some previous videos, you'll notice that my bench press is a little bit curved. So it slants down a little bit into my right arm. And I actually think that the dumbbell pressing actually made that go away, because my left pec has always been a little bit bigger than my right, and they seem to even out a lot more after I started my barbell benching. Or sorry, after I started my dumbbell benching. So that's definitely one positive thing that happened, but dang, I'm honestly really depressed about how my bench press has been feeling lately. I feel so weak on it for some reason, and not just my bench press, but just a lot of my pressing movements. I feel like I'm missing something. Like part of my body is sort of keeping me, because I feel like the strength is there, but for some reason I'm just not quite able to access it, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, we needless to say, we got the chest workout done. It definitely wasn't the best. I have increased my calories a little bit, so I was hoping for a little bit better of a pump. But honestly, I think I'm still just keeping them too low. I'm probably eating about 3,000 calories a day instead of the 2,500 that I was eating on my cut. And so yeah, so I'm still down to 10 pounds. You can notice I definitely look a lot leaner, but just definitely not as full as I used to. And I'm really gonna try to build that up over the next couple of weeks. Another thing that I just wanted to talk about was the Arnold. The Arnold is coming up. For those of you who don't know, it's at the beginning of March. Now I have booked my hotel, I've booked my tickets, and I'm really looking forward to going. I'm not sure if you guys know who Dylan McKnight is, but he's a really famous YouTuber, and I've talked to him about maybe, this is very maybe, being able to hit a lift with him while we're up in Columbus, Ohio. So that would be just like super awesome if we could make that happen. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna keep working, trying to get my calories up a little bit more, and my body weight, I want it to be just around 192 pounds probably for the Arnold, because 192 pounds, I'm still gonna be look fairly lean, still have my vascularity and my striations and whatnot, and hopefully I will have gotten back a little bit of the muscle and some of the strength that I lost during my cut. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. Once again, just reminding you guys to follow me on Instagram at Brandon_C_Clark if you want live updates, especially since that Arnold weekend is coming up, just to make sure keep you guys updated. So yeah.